Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel Sports Hootie. This is your one stop to exploring the fascinating world of sports news and sports law in India. I'm Pranav Sethi, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this journey. To give you guys a small idea about myself, I've been a practicing advocate in the Delhi High Court for the past 2 years. However, I decided to mix my passion and my profession, and I set out on the journey of sports management. The reason why I started this YouTube channel is pretty straightforward. Initially, when I wanted to explore this area of sports management and law and switch from litigation, I was struggling a lot. I struggled on where to start, whom to speak, and what are my available options. Figuring out these steps made me realize that so many students, athletes, ex athletes, aspirants who want to work in the space, or professionals go through the same thing. And thus, I decided to start this channel in order to guide and help the upcoming people, professional students, etc., in the field of sports management and law. So, the first topic I'll be taking up is law and sport or sports law. I will be discussing the key areas of law that are used in sport, such as contract law, intellectual property law, anti doping regulations, sports governance, etc. And then I would be giving a brief on the career opportunities in sports law available to a lawyer. So, this would be the gist of the video today. So, yeah, let's get started. Okay, so today we'll be discussing law in sports. Now, to have an understanding of what law in sports is, you must have an understanding of what sports law is. So, sports law in itself is not part of any codified law, but it encompasses the legal framework governing various aspects of the sports industry, including regulations, statutes, and judicial decisions. Its importance is ensuring fair competition, protection of rights of athletes and clubs, maintaining integrity of the sport, and regulating the conduct of sporting organizations, governing bodies, and other participants. Now, the key areas of sports law will be discussed. These include the key areas of law that are integral part of sport or sporting governance. Now, the first area is contract law. These include player contracts, sponsorship agreements, broadcasting rights, etc. Player contracts are legal agreements between athletes and clubs which cover their salary, duration, performance incentives, termination clauses, etc. The sponsorship agreements are contracts outlining the rights and obligations of sponsors and sports entities regarding marketing, branding, and promotional activities. Lastly, the broadcasting rights are contracts granting broadcasters the exclusive rights to televise or stream sporting events, regulating issues like licensing fees, territorial restrictions, and digital rights management. Lastly, the contract law also imposes a legal obligation as it ensures that the contracts comply with the relevant laws, resolving disputes through and lead to resolving disputes through negotiation, mediation, or litigation, and make sure that the legal obligations in the contracts or laid out in the contracts are enforced. The second part is the intellectual property rights. These include trademarks, which are for protection of logos, team names, and branding elements associated with sporting organizations, etc. Second are your copyrights, which safeguard original works such as broadcasts, photographs, and written content related to any sports event, personalities, or club. And lastly, there are patents. Patents are for securing inventions or technologies used in sporting equipment, facilities, or performance enhancing products. Then come your anti doping regulations. They are normally in compliance with the WADC, which is the World Anti Doping Code, these regulations have adherence to international standards for drug testing, doping control procedures, sanctions, etc. Then there are testing procedures that come under anti-doping regulations. Under these procedures, there are doping tests on athletes, maintaining a chain of custody, and ensuring accuracy and confidentiality of test results. Then come a list of prohibited substances, which are also part of the regulations. These are basically identified banned substances and methods. They help these regulation anti-doping regulations also help athletes in getting educated about the same on which substances to use, what not to use, and they also help in implementing prevention and detection measures. Lastly, are the punishment or the consequences of the violations of the above mentioned regulations. These may impose penalties such as suspensions, fines, or disqualifications for athletes found guilty of doping. Then come your sporting governance. I think sporting governance is one of the most important aspects of sports law. It helps in regulation of sports organizations and establishing rules and guidelines for the formation, registration, and functioning of sporting federations, associations, clubs, and leagues. Under sporting governance also come your ethical standard or practices which promote ethical conduct, integrity, and fair play in sports governance, including measures to prevent corruption in sport, conflicts of interest, or also a monopoly or abuse of power. Lastly, come your transparency and accountability, which also comes from sporting governance. Sporting governance ensures transparency in decision making process and financial transactions with mechanisms for oversight, auditing, or reporting. Then come your dispute resolution. Now, this is one of the most popular form of solving any dispute in between sporting bodies. First is your arbitration. This helps in resolving disputes through arbitration forums such as the Court of Arbitration of Sports or CAS, which is one of the most popular and probably the highest appellate body for any sports person to appeal to. Uh, the Court of Arbitration of Sports specializes in sports related disputes and provides a binding resolution. The decision given by CAS is binding. Then comes your mediation, which helps in facilitating negotiations and reaching mutually acceptable agreements between parties involved in sport disputes. And lastly, are your disciplinary procedures, enforcing disciplinary codes and regulations, investigating allegations of misconduct, rule violations, etc. Now comes a very important part, career opportunities in sports law. A lot of you might be waiting for this part only in the video, so let's just dive right into it. The first is the most basic one, a sports lawyer. Now, what does a sports lawyer do? He provides legal advice, represents the athletes, and provides him with advocacy services to not just athletes but sporting organizations, sponsors, such other stakeholders, especially in the area, such as contracts, dispute resolution, or regulatory compliance. Then come your in-house counsels, who are serving as legal advisors within sport clubs, leagues, governing bodies, or sports agencies, advising on a wide range of legal issues, including contracts, IPR, risk management, and corporate governance. Lastly, is your legal consultant. They offer expert advice and support on specific legal matters or projects such as drafting contracts, conducting due diligence, or providing training on legal compliance tailored to the needs and industry of stakeholders. I hope I was able to explain well what sports law really is, what are the key aspects of law that are available in sport today, and what kind of career opportunities are there for a lawyer in the space, right? So I hope I was able to explain that through the presentation earlier. And for future questions or doubts, feel free to comment. I'd just like to add that sports law and management in India is still at a very early or nascent stage, and in a few years' time, there'll be plenty of career opportunities that will be coming your way. I, in my next few videos, will be discussing what kind of opportunities are there and what sport management is. So tune in, and hopefully, I'm able to clear more doubts and give you guidance in this space. To stay updated with the latest legal developments and explore exciting career opportunities in India in sports law, do likes and subscribe, and I'll make sure that I do justice to you guys and keep sharing these opportunities with you. Thank you.